We all go about our daily lives, sometimes forgetting that we're on a tiny rock travelling 2.2 million kilometres, or 1.3 million miles per hour. It's an uncomfortable truth that we are vulnerable within the universe. It's a fact that asteroids approach the Earth every year. There's never a guarantee of total safety, and it's just a matter of sheer luck as to whether we are directly hit. If an object were 20 miles wide heading towards Earth, we'd have as little as 20 years warning. It's hoped that Earth's largest space agencies and scientists could combine forces to create missiles to destroy the asteroid before it reaches our atmosphere. However, the chances of this succeeding may be rather slim, and it would be years before we could tell whether or not this idea was successful. Therefore, it's likely that alternative survival strategies would be formulated in the event of missiles failing to intercept the asteroid. In fact, a recent study was conducted a few days ago on the 26th of April, revealing to NASA that even the most powerful missiles would not be able to stop a large-scale asteroid colliding with Earth. This simulation showed scientists that the asteroid would be hardly affected, and that 6 months is not enough time to prepare a spacecraft to take out the asteroid. The test was called the Space Mission Options for the Hypothetical Asteroid Impact Scenario, and Lindy Johnson, NASA's Planetary Defense Officer, said the following: "Each time we participate in an exercise of this nature, we learn more about who the key players are in a disaster event, and who needs to know what information. These exercises ultimately help the planetary defense community communicate with each other, and with our governments to ensure we are all coordinated, should a potential impact threat be identified in the future." End quote. Dr. Paul Chodas said the following: "Hypothetical asteroid impact exercises provide opportunities for us to think about how we would respond in the event that a sizable asteroid is found to have a significant chance of impacting our planet. Details of the scenario, such as the probability of the asteroid impact, where and when the impact might occur, are released to participants in a series of steps over the days of the conference to simulate how a real simulation might evolve." End quote. We have been hit by a number of asteroids in recent years. The evidence for this is ancient craters which can be found all over our planet. Even in recent times, asteroids have caused extensive damage to Earth. One example of this is an asteroid 66 feet wide that hit Russia back in 2013. Reports indicated that the blast damaged around 7,000 buildings and injured around 1,500 people within the surrounding area. 4 Vesta is one of the largest objects in the asteroid belt and is often described as a protoplanet. The fact that 4 Vesta is almost spherical means it narrowly avoids classification as a dwarf planet. Named after the Roman goddess of the hearth and household, 4 Vesta is the second largest asteroid after the dwarf planet series. Wider than England, 4 Vesta is estimated to have a surface area that is around the same size as that of Pakistan. 4 Vesta is the brightest asteroid that can be seen from Earth, and it was discovered back in 1802 by Henrik Olbers. Sometimes 4 Vesta can even be seen by the naked eye. If 4 Vesta were to make contact with the Earth, it would cause devastation on an unthinkable scale. If the impact which led to the extinction of the dinosaurs is anything to go by, a direct hit from 4 Vesta would cause mass fires, debris and smoke which would likely block out the sun, lowering temperatures to a point that it would take out the majority of Earth species. The impact would cause earthquakes and enormous tsunamis, followed by volcanic regions forming around the impact zone. The chaos would take years to settle, and widespread extinction of Earth species would be inevitable. The impact could easily destroy huge mountain ranges such as the Himalayas, let alone cities such as New York and London. 4 Vesta is truly massive, accounting for almost 9% of the total mass of all asteroids. It's 50 times wider than the asteroid which caused the dinosaurs to become extinct. Therefore, the destruction it would cause is truly outside our imagination. Even an asteroid as small as the size of a house, hurling towards Earth at 30,000 miles per hour would cause a massive amount of damage. Thankfully, scientists have calculated that a direct hit from 4 Vesta is extremely unlikely. Currently, 4 Vesta is orbiting the Sun at a distance of 170 million kilometers, or 105 million miles from Earth. Scientists announced that last year on the 16th of July 2020, it was visible in the sky. Astronomers said it appeared as a faint yellow dot. Fortunately, a collision with an asteroid large enough to cause significant damage to the Earth is unlikely. However, it's not merely the work of science fiction, as it's certainly not impossible. Large unknown asteroids could still be out there heading towards our planet. In his last book published in 2018, Stephen Hawking said that he believed an asteroid collision to be the biggest threat to the planet. Although NASA has done a great job at cataloguing countless asteroids, they said that one recently slipped through. An asteroid by the name of 2019 OK made headlines around the world. This wasn't because of its size, but rather because of its sudden appearance. Our best scientists and researchers had no idea this object was flying past us until the last minute, at which point it would have been too late. This asteroid is estimated to be 57 to 130 meters in diameter, or 187 to 426 feet. It was the closest an asteroid had come to Earth in 2019. Shaquille O'Neal is best known for being a former American basketball player. However, a few days ago he shared an interesting video that got people talking. The video in question shows Shaq driving around at 3 AM, and in the background is what looks like a mysterious beam of light. He then uploaded the video to Instagram asking his followers what they thought it was. It then sparked various theories for what he had captured, ranging from UFOs to more mundane explanations like a light show. This person said the following: "I've seen similar looking beams out in the Nevada desert. I know some of these can be explained as things like hotel lights or natural phenomena, but this one is interesting. I'm not sure where this one was taken, but it could have been coming from a hotel. Regardless, it's still an interesting video." End quote. Another person said this: "This is an interesting video. I have no idea what the mysterious beam of light is, but why is no one talking about the black objects moving in the background? There's so much going on in this video." End quote. However, others were certain that the video showed nothing odd. This person said the following: "The black thing you can see moving in the background is just a street lamp not lit up. There's also other light anomalies in the video that can likely be explained as lens flares. The beam of light is of interest, but there's likely an easy explanation for it." End quote. Interestingly, this isn't the first time that a strange beam of light has been photographed. Last year, various photographs started to make the rounds on social media, showing strange beams of light. Interestingly, these strange beams of light have been showing up in various places across the world, and this has caused several eyewitnesses to give their opinions on what the lights could be. One man said the following: "While on the way to work, I saw what appeared to be a giant beam of light open up in the sky. This light wasn't the same as the natural light piercing the clouds. It was massive and really bright, I got distracted while heading to work, which eventually caused me to be late, but I couldn't miss the opportunity to see this mysterious light. I have no idea what it is, and I could also see other drivers pointing it out as they was driving by. It was like something from a movie." End quote. Interestingly, this isn't the first time these strange beams of lights have been reported. Last year, residents in Rockwell, Texas reported giant booms and lights in the area. Those who witnessed the event said it illuminated the sky, and that it didn't just happen once. Skeptics suggested that what people were reporting was just the sun shining through the clouds, but residents countered this and said if this was the case then the beam should have spread to the horizon, but in this case it didn't. It was very direct. Various photographs then started to reach social media, where thousands of people started to give their opinions on the mysterious lights. One resident said the following: "As I was driving, I noticed this distinct light coming from the sky. It caught my eye as it didn't look natural. I'd never seen anything like it before. I had my mum in the car and she was surprised as well. The beam of light was very distinct, and it didn't look like it was the sun coming through the clouds." End quote. Another witness said this: "The light certainly did look weird, but I think I've seen something similar. We call these God rays, but they do usually have more light rays than this. This one seemed to be one giant one." End quote. Scientists have come forward with a possible explanation. They've suggested it could be an anti-solar ray. These rays are parallel shafts of sunlight from holes in the clouds, and their apparently odd directions are a perspective effect. As of right now, more of these photos are being shared around, with some of the most recent ones coming from New York. Again, these lights are similar to the ones that's been reported, but are noted as being larger. Oddly enough, those who have looked into these reports have said they've even been seen close to the International Space Station, with one researcher saying they were watching the International Space Station live cameras when they saw a large red beam of light come from an object. When the image was shared, people couldn't agree on what had been captured, with some people saying it was likely a camera anomaly, while others went down the route of suggesting that it could have come from an unidentified flying object. UFO researchers pointed out that in the photograph you can even see a large circular object, and this appears above the beam of light, saying that the reason they suggest it's a UFO is because every other week strange objects can be seen close to the space station. As of right now, NASA and other space agencies have denied that UFOs have been seen close to the ISS, but amateur researchers who spend countless hours watching the live cams disagree. Between the years of 1998 and 2020, countless people have gone missing. The sad thing is that many of these cases remain unsolved. One of the most recent reports detailed the disappearance of a woman named Watiba, and she lived on Mooner Island. After being reported missing, her sister decided to search the area in the hopes of finding her. She came across her sister's shoes and noticed some footprints that led into the nearby forest. She said that her sister had been worried about the local boar, as they sometimes go for people, and said that at the time of her disappearance she was checking up on her crops. After reporting her sister missing, over 100 locals joined the search, which allowed them to cover more ground. It was during this search that a chilling discovery was made. Around half a mile from her home, one of the locals found a reticulated python, and it was very swollen. The group took the snake back to their village, and once they opened it up they found the woman inside. Unfortunately, she had passed away. The reticulated python is found throughout Asia, and holds the record as being the largest snake in the world. The average size is between 4 and 7 meters. Although according to the Natural History Museum, the longest reticulated python ever recorded was found in 1912 and measured 10 meters, or 32 feet. There have been a few reported cases of these snakes going for humans, although wildlife experts have said they will normally go for much smaller animals. Experts though said it's important to keep in mind that reticulated pythons rarely go for humans, and there's only been a handful of cases where this has happened, but noted that if these snakes are hungry and a human happens to be close by, it will attack. The reticulated python are constrictors, meaning they take out their prey by squeezing them. Professor Harry Green said the following: "It would be extremely difficult for me to save my life without help. It wouldn't take very long and it would be awful." End quote. Pythons are some of the most powerful snakes on the planet. They are non-venomous, meaning that the only way they can take out their prey is by squeezing the life out of them. Interestingly, wildlife researchers have said this method only works on warm-blooded animals, with them saying that when observed in the past, this method has little to no effects on cold-blooded animals. According to National Geographic, a boa constrictor was observed squeezing an iguana for over an hour. After this, the snake held onto it, but those observing the event said that after the ordeal, the iguana just ran off. A similar event made headlines when a local farmer in Indonesia was swallowed by a reticulated python. This one measured over 20 feet. Dr. Green said it was a rare occurrence, but noted that there are cases where this has happened. Indonesia is one of the places where it happens the most. Farmers are going about their business and sometimes don't realize that a python is nearby. Pythons will also go for things like monkeys and even orangutans. Villagers said the farmer was taken out from behind, with wildlife experts saying that in this case he was likely stalked by the snake. The majority of snake bites come from self-defense, but these snakes have also been observed waiting close to trails. Dr. Green said that within a few seconds these snakes could wrap their entire body around you. The majority of people who are attacked by these snakes survive though. In fact, out of 60 locals that were interviewed, over 20 of them had said they come into contact with a reticulated python, with many of them having scars from their encounter. A recent mystery from Indonesia is that of the sinking of a submarine. The submarine had lost contact after it submerged, and this caused teams on the ground to carry out an investigation. At first there were hopes that the crew of 53 could be alive, as when the submarine disappeared, Navy officials said they had 72 hours worth of oxygen. However, this quickly dwindled. Navy Chief Yudo Mugono said that several items have been found in deep waters, going on to say the following: "With the authentic evidence we found believed to be from the submarine, we have now moved from the submerged phase to subsunk. If it's an explosion, it will be in pieces. The cracks happen gradually in some parts, where it went down from 300 meters to 400 meters, to then 500 meters. If there was an explosion, it would be heard by the sonar. The submarine is found at a depth that is far beyond the crush depth of the boat. There will be no survivors, assuming that none of those on board managed to escape before it fell below the crush depth." Colin Coe, a researcher in the area, said the following: "The evacuation they're talking about, I surmise they're referring likely to the eventual retrieval of the debris, or whatever is left of the submarine that can be salvaged, with the hopes of at least retrieving the remains of the crew." End quote. As of right now, one leading theory for what happened was that a strong natural force dragged the submarine into deeper waters. Officials have backed this idea and said the sub was likely hit by a solitary wave. These waves are hard to detect and are a major threat to things like submarines. Officials have said they're working to salvage the submarine, but said it's going to be tough as it's cracked into 3 pieces. The Navy said it's waiting for backup from 2 ships that deal in deep-sea salvage operations. Navy Chief Yudo Mugono said the following: "It's hard to talk about specific timing, but I can say that as soon as help arrives we'll start. The Navy said the submarine may have experienced a blackout, and this stopped the team from being able to carry out operations. So what do you make of these stories? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.